नमस्कार जय जगन्नाथ कैक्स वीडियो सीरीज को आपनकर आउथरे स्वागत करुच्ची। आज आम कथा हबा यूपीएससी एंड ओपीएससी रो सिलेबस विषय रे, तार क्वेश्चन पैटर्न विषय रे, एंड हाउ बेसिकली you can prepare yourself for what is coming in the next 1.5 years or 2 years of your preparation. So let's start today's video. Let's start with the prelim syllabus. So what I have done is ମୁଁ syllabus को UPSC and OPSC गोटे comparison हिसाब रे syllabus आज रो ମୁଁ slides को सजेची along with some previous year question papers. जेमती जेमती आमे आगु को पढ़िबा, I'll help you get yourself acquainted with the syllabus and at the same time get clarity as in how you can prepare for both simultaneously. माने जेहेतु सिलेबस बहुत ओवरलैप अच्छी, सिलेबस रो बहुत जिनस मिसी जाउची इच अदर संगे रे, बहुत सारा टॉपिक्स एकदम वर्ड टू वर्ड सेम अच्छी। सो आपण माने एका संगे रे प्रिपरेशन केमती करि परिबे, कोठी आपण को टिके एक्स्ट्रा परिश्रम करियार अच्छी, को टॉपिक पय आपण को टिके एक्स्ट्रा नोट्स बनिया को दरकार पड़िबो, दैट आल्सो आई टेल यू। एंड एट द सेम टाइम यूपीएससी रो क्वेश्चन लेवल एंड ओपीएससी रो क्वेश्चन लेवल भी गोटे मिनी एनालिसिस हमें करिबा, ताकि वी कैन बी श्योर कि दिस इज not something that are two different exams. This is basically one exam, and OPSC basically requires a little bit of extra preparation because of the Odisha part. Let's get started. Prelim syllabus मोर first video रे भी मु prelim syllabus के चर्चा करी थी। So prelim syllabus is across these many subjects. First you have the current events, history, geography, polity, economy, environment, and general science. सेमती देखंतु जहा जहा सेम एग्जैक्ट ओपीएससी सिलेबस रो वर्डिंग भी एग्जैक्ट सेम अच्छी, बस केतरा जिंस डिफरेंट अच्छी। एठी जदी इंडिया एंड वर्ल्ड ज्योग्राफी अच्छी, एठी इंडिया एंड ओडिशा ज्योग्राफी आस जाउछ। एठी सेमती हिस्ट्री ऑफ ओडिशा एंड ओडिशा नेशनल मूवमेंट भी आपन को एक्स्ट्रा पढिबार अछि। यार किछटा जदी हमें क्वेश्चन देखिबा, देखो एटा गोटे प्योर करंट अफेयर्स क्वेश्चन। IMF was in news because Sri Lanka ro economic condition was not good 2 years ago. So IMF तांको बेल आउट कला, गोटे इकोनॉमिक पैकेज देला, लोन देला, सॉफ्ट लोन्स को आ जाए ताको 50 वर्ष 100 वर्ष रो तार ये थाए एक्सपायरी पीरियड थाए, इंटरेस्ट रेट्स 0.5% 1% एमती थाए, so that the country can function again. So these things were in news. IMF ro rapid financing instrument, IMF रो रैपिड क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी वेर इन न्यूज, एंड सिंपल स्ट्रेट तारी विषय पचार देला देखंतु कि दे आर रिलेटेड टू विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग, एशियन डेवलपमेंट बैंक, वर्ल्ड बैंक, यूएनईपी और आईएमएफ। डायरेक्ट जेहेतु न्यूज रे अछि, यू आर सपोज्ड टू नो इट, दे आस्क्ड इट। सो दिस कैन बी एट्रिब्यूटेड टू करंट इवेंट्स ऑफ नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस। एट वाज ची क्वेश्चन टा इंटरनेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस। आई बेग योर पार्डन। सेमती इंडियन इकोनॉमी रो क्वेश्चंस देखिबे, ये सब बहुत बेसिक, बहुत टिपिकल यूपीएससी एंड ओपीएससी स्टाइल क्वेश्चंस। इफ इन्फ्लेशन इज टू हाई, द आरबीआई इज लाइकली टू बाय गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज। अपन जंती आगु बढ़िबे अपन ये सब टॉपिक्स पढ़िबे, बॉन्ड मार्केट, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, इन्फ्लेशन, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी, fiscal policy. These are various areas of UPSC of the syllabus where UPSC regularly tests you. Even OPSC regularly tests you. And these are very conceptual questions. These are very easy questions. अपना जेमते जेमते अपना concepts clear ही चलिबो, you will be able to solve this. Then polity रो question देखले, एठी गोटे टॉपिक थिला अपना देखले जेमती the Indian polity and governance, ithre constitution, political system, panchayati raj, rights issues, same exact Odisha ro bhi achi Indian polity and governance, political system, panchayati raj, public policy, and hence it's your question achi, what are the which of the following are exclusive powers of the Rajya Sabha? Mane these powers are not, or rather these powers are not with Rajya Sabha, exclusively with Lok Sabha. So declaration of emergency, no confidence against Council of Ministers, impeachment of the President of India. So you will again learn धीरे धीरे अपन जेम जेमते आगु बढ़िबे, You will learn about what is Lok Sabha, what is Rajya Sabha, what is Vidhan Sabha, what is the office of president, how he or she can be impeached, what is a no confidence motion, what is an emergency, what are articles, what is Article 356. So ଆପଣ ଯେମିତି ଯେମିତି clear ହେଇ ଚାଲିବେ, you will get to solve these questions. Then science, environment, geography, ये सब topics अच्छी. So this is again an environment based question. Fungus. Environment has a huge overlap with geography. So Himalayan forest areas in Miruchinanai you have to know. Northeastern India, Himalayan foothills, commercially cultivated, yeah, just nijo pine cultivate हुए. So you have to know these things. What is a nitrogen? What are the nitrogen fixing plants? What are these? Chickpea, alfalfa, etc. These are all environment based questions. ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ prelims syllabus ର କିଛି it is just a vague terminology ki general issues on environment, ecology, biodiversity, climate change that do not require subject specialization. So since there is no detailed syllabus, your only source are previous year questions. Previous year questions through you can know କୋଉ topic ଉପରେ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେବାର ଅଛି, କୋଉ topic କୁ ଆମେ skip କରିପାରିବା. This phenomenon, everything under the sun ଆମେ ପଢିବୁ. This is completely wrong. ଏହି ସବୁ exam ରେ even though syllabus is vague, it is not about everything under the sun. PYQs are your friend. PYQs ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଏଠି okay, I'll tell you. Previous year question. So previous year questions are your friend. You have to develop a relationship with previous year questions. ଆପଣ जितने previous year question solve करिवे, जितने ताको analyze करिवे, जितने ता उपरे notes बनेबे and ता उपरे background research करिवे कि एई question टा काई पचरा हैला, एई option टा काई frame ହେଇची, सेमति सेमति धीरे धीरे जानिबे जे even though it's vast, it is still within a border. किछि माने unlimited जिनसा पढ़ियार अछि for this exam, that is totally false. Okay? सेमती मु जदि कहबी कि जेमती एठी कहूची इंडिया एंड ओडिशा एंड हिस्ट्री ऑफ ओडिशा सेमती जदि ओडिशा रो क्वेश्चन आमे दीटा देखिबा देखंतु एठी रोलिंग अपलैंड्स विषय रे पचारची मैच द फॉलोइंग देची राजगंगपुर पनपोश अपलैंड्स झारसुगुड़ा अपलैंड्स बलांगीर टिटलागढ़ पटनागढ़ अपलैंड्स तापरे मालकानगिरी अपलैंड्स दीज आर ऑल क्वेश्चन स्पेसिफिक टू ओडिशा सेमती antecedent drainage pattern in Odisha, Mahanadi and Brahmani and Baitarani. ये सब आमो ओडिशा रे नदी, Baitarani and Rushikulia. Black earth soil has been developed in which region of Odisha? Brahmani na Mayurbhanj, na Angul, na Sambalpur. So in OPSC you get not all but 5 to 6 questions empty specifically Odisha related ରହିବ. Otherwise OPSC question now UPSC question paper ଆଜି का date ରେ in the last 2 years एकदम almost similar ହେଇଗଲାଣି pattern ଆଉ style of asking questions has become similar. ମୁଁ ତ କହିବି OPSC ର question paper was tougher than UPSC syllabus UPSC prelims paper last year. And then of course this is about GS. Then this ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ 33% marks ଆଣିବାର ଅଛି. ଏଟା just a passing paper. ଯଦି ଏଥିରେ qualify କଲେ then this paper gets checked. So CSAT ର ଦିଟା अगर syllabus एकदम same. Decision making, problem solving, mental ability, numeracy, data interpretation. और जदि verbal ability विषय कथा कहबा comprehension and communication skills. This is exactly same both the subjects. And यार किछटा questions देखिबा. So this is percentage ର question. एतिकी marks रहिला, एतिकी full mark थिला, whatever. You can read the question. You can pause the screen and read the question. This is age based question. Then एमतिया figures आमे छोटो बेलू देखि आसु ये सब question. जदि ए या figure अछि ताले कोन हबो? एया जदि अच्छी ताले सीरीज रे नेक्स्ट कौन हबो मिसिंग नंबर कुह ए सीरीज रे एक्स रे वैल्यू कौन हबो तो दीज आर वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस जोटा कि it's not that difficult a job to get 33% marks if you have a good base in maths and English. If not, then of course you have to work for it. टेस्ट सीरीज लगे पड़ो केतेटा बही किणिया पड़ो वीडियोस देखिए आप यूट्यूब रे एते सारा फ्री वीडियोस अवेलेबल अच्छी आमे भी सीसैट रो गोटे कोर्स आनिबु बहुत जल्दी एंड धीरे धीरे आपण एमती दिस आपको लाइटली नहीं कि बहुत जण पिला माने परे रिग्रेट करछंती से माने जीएस रे 101 मार्क रखंती किंतु 200 रु एथरे 65 या 66 रखिबे which is less than the 33% required marks. Okay, so what happens is they are not able to qualify. They do not qualify. because CSAT रे fail हो जाते. So this is not to be taken lightly. You have to also prepare for this if your base is weak. Otherwise, যদি আপনার base strong ଅଛି, then exam মাসে 2 মাস পূর্বରୁ 5টা test papers লগাই দেলে 10 বছর previous question solve করে দেলে generally এই paper preparation হয়ে যায়. Okay? চলুন. This was about prelims. Let's go towards the main syllabus. Main syllabus again. First, let me tell you about the GS2 and GS3 syllabus. GS2, GS3 and GS4 syllabus रे बहुत huge overlap अच्छी. It's only the GS1 syllabus which is okay, थोड़ा सा different for UPSC and OPSC. So let's first talk about the GS2, GS3 and GS4 syllabus. See, GS2, GS3 syllabus, GS2 syllabus rates about Indian polity and international relation. First of all, let me tell you categorically कि ओडिशा एग्जाम रे OPSC एग्जाम रे international relations ନାହିଁ. ଆପଣ ଏଠି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି India and its neighborhood relations, bilateral regional groupings, agreements, policies and politics of developed and developing countries on Indian diaspora, etc. etc. This whole thing is international relation syllabus in UPSC. But in OPSC, there is only one topic mentioned. It is Odisha and its neighborhood relations. माने Odisha relation with छत्तीसगढ़. ये जो रिवर सब issues हुए. Odisha relation with Andhra, with Jharkhand. But international relation रे OPSC, international relation India, Iran, India, Egypt, India, US, India, Russia. These things for OPSC you can ignore. You need not study. Although you will need it for your interview. So पूरा ignore करिबेनी. You will still need to study it. But at the same time, other than this, everything is almost word to word similar. देखो मैं एठी compare करी देखौची. Historical underpinnings, evolution, features, historical underpinnings, evolution, features. This is Indian Constitution. Responsibilities of union and states, devolution of powers and finances, exactly same. So you get what I'm trying to say. Not obviously, I'm not going to read everything this here and this again. So let's just see at one place what are the main topics. Separation of powers. What is separation of powers? So there are three aspects of governance. There is an executive, जोटा कि हम सरकार. There is a legislature, which is our parliament, and there is judiciary, which is our courts. So तांको powers केमती have to be separated. ये judge रो काम न करू, ये सरकार रो काम न करू, ये minister रो काम न करू. So you have to always know where your power ends and where you are overstepping. So that is about separation of powers. Dispute redressal mechanisms and institutions. Then comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with other countries. Both her question says secularism in India and secularism in France are different. Tell how. Everybody has some questions. Then parliament and state legislatures, tanko structure, functioning and conduct of business. Salient features of the Representation of Peoples Act. This is all about elections. Structure, organization and functioning of the executive and judiciary. Ministries, departments of the government. Pressure groups, informal associations. Pressure groups and informal associations, as for example, NGOs. So how NGOs play a role in Indian polity from in day-to-day life. Okay. Appointment to constitutional posts, power functions, and responsibilities of various constitutional bodies. What are constitutional bodies? ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ first video ରେ ବତେଇଥିଲି constitutional bodies are those ଯାହାର mention directly constitution ରେ ହେଇଛି. ବହୁତ ସାରା bodies ଏମିତିଆ ଯୋଉଟା କି constitution power ଦେଇଛି government କୁ କି if you need कि ତମକୁ ଏଇ function ର ଗୋଟେ ଏଇ function କୁ effectively carry out କରିବା ପାଇଁ you need a different body. So I empower you to create a body. So government comes up with a lot of acts, lot of executive orders, जो कि से सेमतिया bodies create कला कि नियो. For example, National Human Rights Commission. So NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, जो सब it was not there in the original constitution, but for doing complete justice, for safeguarding fundamental rights of people, government came up with an act, NHRC Act, जहाँ under NHRC is a statutory body. But there are some constitutional bodies. So these constitutional bodies, ଯେମିତି କି ସେଦିନ ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି UPSC, the state PSCs, the Election Commission of India, the CAG, the Comptroller and the Comptroller Auditor General of India. ସେମିତି ଏମିତି ବହୁତ ସାରା constitutional bodies ଅଛନ୍ତି. So ଆଗକୁ ଗଲେ same statutory, regulatory and various quasi judicial bodies. So you will get to know if I go to the detail of everything, এই ভিডিও কেবে সরিবনি বিকজ সিলেবাস ইজ সো হিউজ ধীরে ধীরে you will get to internalize these concepts आराम से 5 6 months या फिर even 8 months ଲାଗିଯିବ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଖାଲି ବୁଝିବା ପାଇଁ the whole scope of the syllabus because syllabus is so huge and not every topic of the syllabus is always in news କେତେଟା topics will never be in news ଯେମିତି କି for example India and its neighborhood relations ରେ India China relations, India Pakistan relations, India Sri Lanka relations, India Maldives relations, they're always in news. But some topics, kahar example they be. Okay, bilateral agreements. Okay, so can I say India Belarus or India Belgium? These are less important topics. Jodi gote article asibi gala, you can be sure that you need not read these topics. But these major countries, which you have to read over time. You have to develop your knowledge over time. अपनो notes बनेबे, तांको history विषय जानिबे, and there is a whole process to how you are going to prepare international relations. So जम्मा अपने एबे विचलित हेबेन, धीरे धीरे you will get to know everything. Then social justice ବୋଲି ଗୋଟେ topic ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା କି again ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଆଉ ୟାର ଏକଦମ same government policy and interventions of development, government policies and interventions for development, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections. So this is the social justice part, poverty and hunger related issues. This is the governance part, governance, transparency, accountability, citizen charters, institutions, etc. So you get an idea of the whole Indian polity part, polity and international relations. କେତେଟା questions ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଏଠି for example ଏଟା ହଉଛି OPSC ର 2022 ର question paper 2022 mains ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉ ଥିଲା ଓଡିଶା and neighborhood ଗୋଟେ topic ଥିଲା ପଳେଇଗଲା ଏଠି ଅଛି ଓଡିଶା and neighborhood relations. So this Odisha and neighborhood relations ର ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ କେମିତିଆ question ଆସିଛି. Concerns of Odisha state in respect sharing of Mahanadi water. Examine the status of Chhattisgarh Odisha Mahanadi water dispute. What is the way forward? So this is like a typical OPSC question. Eta UPSC re asibani. UPSC re out ke major issues ro question asibo jota ki pan India basis re cover hotubo. What is social justice? What is the status of women in Indian society? Examine the legal status of women in India. What are the constitutional provisions of social justice? Discuss about government's initiative to make social justice a reality. देखो, social justice is the whole topic in itself. Social justice रा ये सबू topics रा sub parts भितरु they are asking these questions. What is democratic decentralization? 73rd constitutional amendment, panchayats related विषय से question पचारे. So these are the kind of questions that are asked in GS2. If you want to see some GS2 questions from UPSC, I can show you. ଏଇଠି ଅଛି. So ମୁଁ ଏବେ international relations ବିଷୟରେ କଥା କହୁଥିଲି. So evaluate the economic and strategic dimension of India's look east policy in the context of the post Cold War international scenario. यार level ର question level ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ level high ହେଇଗଲା. Terrorist activities and mutual distrust have clouded India-Pakistan relations. To what extent soft powers like sports, cultural exchanges will help generate goodwill between the two countries? Discuss with suitable examples. So something like I'm a fans for a demand India-Pakistan matches besti haba katha. So seya hi pacharchi. To what extent the use of soft power like sports and cultural exchanges? There are two types of power. There is hard power, military. The soft power, Indian cinema, Indian sports, Indian celebrity status, Indian diaspora. So soft power use like this, how they can help generate goodwill between the two countries. In respect of India-Sri Lanka relations, how domestic factors influence foreign policy. The whole Tamil Elam issue, the whole Kacha Tivu issue, ଏବେ ପୁଣି news ରେ ଅଛି. So these are some of the kind of questions that are asked in international relations in GS2. ଯଦି constitution ଆଡକୁ ଆମେ ଯିବା then constitution ର ବି ଦି ତିନିଟା question ଦେଖେଇ ଦଉଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ. Yes. Examine the scope of fundamental rights in the light of the latest judgment of the Supreme Court on right to privacy. Did the Government of India Act 1935 lay down a federal constitution? Again, you will get to read these things, know these things. This newspaper ଆସିବ, monthly magazines ରେ cover ହବ, test series ରେ cover ହବ. You will read about it. But you should know what you are getting into. ଯଦି ଏଇ ସବୁ ଦେଖିକି ଜିନିଷ ଟିକେ ଡର ଲାଗୁଛି, it's completely natural. କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ନିଜକୁ ଏବେ କହିବେ ଯେ I can do this. Given enough time, 12 months to 24 months ର time ମୁଁ ଯଦି ନିଜକୁ ଦେବି ଦିନେ ଆସିବ ମୁଁ ଏମିତି ବସିକି ଆଉ ଜଣଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝଉଥିବି ବୁଝିଲେ so you keep in mind these aspects of the syllabus okay let's go to GS3 GS3 ରେ again everything is almost similar ଏଥିରେ first of all let me tell you this science and tech part ଟା is exact economy part is again exact बस एथिरे केतेटा difference अछि मु कहि दउछि land reforms in India and Odisha एठी only आसीबो land reforms in India government budgeting India and Odisha एठी आसीबो only government budgeting एमती industrialization in Odisha issues and prospects so this is थोड़ा सा OPS related topic agriculture again पूरा same एथिरे खाली आसीबो e technology in the aid of farmers in India and Odisha एठी e-technology in the aid of farmers. What a general topic. So you get what I'm trying to say. Inclusive growth, Indian economy and issues related to planning, Indian economy and issues related to planning. Okay, so you get it what I'm trying to say. Internal security, biodiversity, agriculture, it's all total overlap of the syllabus. And science and tech is completely same. So एठी हमें गोटे टॉपिक टिके देख दवा कौन अछि syllabus रे so issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development, and employment. All the hot topics of our day to day. जहाँ newspaper खोलला बेलको economy page रे जहाँ अछि, it's not business related news or it's not stock market related news. It's the overall macro issues of the country. Employment टाइम की लो अच्छी या फिर गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयमेंट ପାଇଁ कौन ସବୁ ସ୍କିମ୍ସ ନେଇକି ଆସୁଛି ପवर्टी एलिविएशन ପାଇଁ कौन स्कीम्स ନେଇକି ଆସୁଛି ସେମିତି ପ୍ଲାନିଂ एंड मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेस तो जदि स्कीम आनिला ଆଉ ଯଦି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଏଟା हजार कोटी टंका লাগিব ଗୋଟେ ସ୍କିम ଚଲେଇବା ପାଇଁ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଆୟ ଦବା ପାଇଁ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଇନକମ ଦବା ପାଇଁ so ସେ 1000 କୋଟି ଟା ଆସିବ କୋଠୁ so where do they mobilize these resources from taxation budgeting planning how do they plan the whole thing niti aayog each niti aayog ro gote topic asibo ki how niti aayog helps government plan everything inclusive growth and issues arising from it so there are so many sections of the society there's a whole which need focus so many sections which need focus children need their own focus women need their own focus aged groups need their own focus poverty groups need their own focus the rich need their own focus so inclusive growth mane how everyone can be benefited kon emti policy anile we will not leave out anyone so there is this whole topic inclusive growth and a topic ru bahut sara questions ase basically exam re our economy topics such effects of liberalization on the economy changes in industrial policy and industrial growth liberalization what is liberalization जे जो एमएनसीज आछुंती आम कंट्री को ये जो फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट आछुची आम कंट्री रू सिंगापुर रो एतिकी कोटी डॉलर्स रो इन्वेस्टमेंट हेची मॉरिशस रू एतिकी कोटी डॉलर्स रो इन्वेस्टमेंट हेची दिस इज कॉल्ड लिबरलाइजेशन वी हैव ओपनड आवर इकोनॉमी टू डिफरेंट कंट्रीज की our country is independent for the only for the last 70 years we are a huge country हम पाखरे पूरा निज देश निजे चलिया पई सब रिसोर्सेस नाही so if you have extra money if you have profits that are booming through the roofs you come and invest in our country factories छेड़ा करो लोकन को काम दियो सेथु जहां भी प्रॉफिट्स आसीबो आम लोक चाकरी पाइले आम लोक चाकरी पाई कि से पैसा को कार किनले घर किनले तो सेथरे आम कंट्री रो भी लाभ होला और जा प्रॉफिट्स होला से अपन निज कंट्री को वापस नहीं जानते so this is in a nutshell this is liberalization okay changes in industrial policy तो ए सब जिंसो को फैसिलिटेट करिया पई आउरी जा सब लेटेस्ट जिंसो आछी फॉर एग्जांपल सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री फॉर एग्जांपल एआई इंडस्ट्री ड्रोन्स इंडस्ट्री तो ये सब जेते जेते हमें टेक्नोलॉजिकली आगु माडी चलछे सेमती हमें कोन चेंजेस आनछे इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी रे टू एकोमोडेट दिस चेंजेस एबे भी हमें जदी कहबो हमें से 1950s रो मशीन्स रे आ मिल्स रे हमें हम जिंस तयारी करिवो जिंस और से तयारी जिंस को एक्सपोर्ट करिवो जोटी की डिफरेंट कंट्रीज हैव सो सच एडवांस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी we are going to lag behind as a country so how we are keeping in with time in this aspect changes in industrial policy infrastructure energy ports roads airports railways again रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी को हमें केमती धीरे धीरे इंटरनलाइज करूचे पोर्ट्स रो पॉलिसी कोन रोड्स तयारी एयरपोर्ट्स रेलवेज आंकर सब काम जदि दीटा ये जो सब गुड्स मालगाड़ी जो सब ट्रेन रे जाए सो गोटे स्टेट रू आउ गोटे स्टेट को जिनस जाउची सो एंड देन ए स्टेट रू एठी के आसले बाहर को एक्सपोर्ट होची सो यू नीड टू हैव अ गुड रेलवेज पॉलिसी रोड सेमती तैयारी होचती Delhi to Bombay connect hela, Bombay to Chennai connect hela, Chennai to ye, then to interior parts of India. If these roads are not there, how will tribal people export their products? Tribal people also have to make a living. They know how to make the best use of forest resources. But Ajika date rate, tribal people the products are being exported to Australia. How is it possible if you don't have roads, if you don't have ports, if you don't have railways? So infrastructure. Investment models ये सब रोड बनेबारे ये सब रेलवे लाइन बनेबारे ये सब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ये बनेबारे you need the help of private sector government ସବୁ ତ କରିପାରିବନି government କହିବ ମୁଁ ସରକାର ବି ଚଲେଇବି ମୁଁ road ବି ବନେଇବି ମୋରି companies this used to happen you will study this also this used to happen till the 1990s but ତାପରେ private sector ଯେତେବେଳେ growth ହେଲା private sector को कुहाला कि you become a equal partner in nation building I'll give you the resources I'll give you the land I'll give you the money but you give me your expertise हम पाखे एडवांस मशीन्स अच्छी रोड बनेयार जोथरे कि 5 दिन रे 5 किलोमीटर रोड मु बने देबी फॉर एग्जांपल मु भूल हेथाय पारे बट गोटे एग्जांपल हिसाब रे कहूची बट मो पाखे जो टेक्नोलॉजी अच्छी से 5 दिन रे गोटे किलोमीटर बनिबो सो यू बिकम अ पार्टनर this is what you will study in investment models. What is hybrid annuity model? What is toll operate transfer model? ये जो toll जो हमें जो collect करूचु road रे. So what is that? Why is that? You will read in this. Okay. So this was Indian economy. Agriculture रे cropping patterns in various parts of the country, types of irrigation, and e-technology, issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies. it आ विषय रे बहुत पढ़िबे subsidies विषय रे because ସବୁ farmers ପାଖରେ tractor ସବୁ farmers ପାଖରେ high yielding variety seed ସବୁ farmers ପାଖରେ ଦାମିକିଆ fertilizer pesticide କରିବା ପାଇଁ capital ନଥାଏ so how government is subsidizing these things कि नियो ଆମେ ଯଦି तार market value ହେଲା 100 rupees we will give 70 rupees you give 30 rupees and then you take this implement in your farm and then तमे तमर प्रॉफिट करो तमे तमर लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड बढ़ाओ तमे तमर फार्म रो हेल्थ को देखो एंड बी अगेन आम नेशन बिल्डिंग रे हमको हेल्प करो दिस इज सब्सिडीज minimum support price msp always in news it's a political issue it's always in news and again questions are very often repeated from this topic economics of animal rearing so khali crops is not important and animals and livestock farming are also important for example dry parts of our country as in this Vidarbh region Rayalaseema region ethi ବର୍ଷା ନାହିଁ तो ethi crops and agriculture are not that advanced so ethi and people are being incentivized are being empowered to go with animal rearing livestock तमे cow buffalo milk poultry এই ସବୁ issues ଉପରେ ବେଶୀ ଇଏ କର so that you also can earn profit ଯଦି ବର୍ଷା ନାହିଁ କଣ ହେଲା ତ and at the same time ଯଦି types of irrigation ଅଛି ତ ଏଠି ଯଦି ବର୍ଷା ନାହିଁ how government is trying to bring irrigation facilities कि आसपास जोड़ी जो areas रे surplus water ଅଛି ସେଠୁ ଆମେ ପାଣି ନେଇ ଆସିବା and ଏ areas को ଆମେ will help them go ahead in agriculture so it's a as you can see it's a total complete education of the Indian system no aspect gets left out in this syllabus. It's a very well thought out syllabus. ठीक है random अच्छी yes Indian economy एठी थिला पुनी एठी आसी गला मझरे agriculture आसी गला then so this is what I'm trying to say it's random but it's a very well thought out process. Science and technology IT space computer robotics nano biotech this is totally current affairs based है environmental disaster management environmental pollution degradation environmental impact assessment एथिरे आपण climate change पे आसजिबो एथिरे सबु disaster management रे एबे जो दुबई रे for example floods आसजिबो tsunami आसजिबो everything all the everything that is done disaster management how you are managing disasters and this is internal security the Maoist issue money laundering issue, cyber threat issue, external and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security. External state actors For example, the Pakistani smuggling weapons into Jammu and Kashmir, and Jammu and Kashmir in terrorism. That is external state actor. External non-state actor. External non-state actor, for example, ISI, Pakistan or ISI, how it is again helping foment terrorism in India. Basics of cybersecurity, money laundering, security forces, agencies, and their mandates. What is CAPF? What is CISF? What is Indian Army? What is Indo-Tibetan Border Police? Okay. So aanko bisare apan mane padibe. So GS3 ଯେମିତି GS2 was totally polity related things. GS3 is a mix of different domains. There's science, there's economy, there's security, there's environment, there's disaster management, and there's biodiversity. Okay. This was GS3. Kichita questions. Let me show you how. Okay. It here. How does gender budgeting act as a strategy for achieving women empowerment? Okay, this was GS3, right? GS3 रे ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି government budgeting, ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି inclusive growth. Inclusive growth ରେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିଥିଲି women ବିଷୟରେ ଆଉ budgeting. So ଏଇ ଦିଟା topic କୁ they created a question, they mixed it and they created a question how gender budgeting act as a strategy for achieving women empowerment. Okay. Growth process in India has exacerbated, rather खराब कर दीजिए, worsened, rather than bridging the existing inequalities. Give your views with justification. This again is a inclusive growth question. This again is a 80 जो topic अच्छी growth, 80 topic अच्छी development. Growth and development ର ଗୋଟେ aspect ହେଲା rich keep getting richer, poor keep getting poorer. So inequality bridge increases. So ସେଇଥିରୁ ସେମାନେ asked a question କି bridging the existing inequalities. And then ଯେହେତୁ ଆମେ OPSC ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଏଠି ଯାହା ଥିଲା India and Odisha and Odisha issues, land reforms in India and Odisha. So this is a OPSC question. Odisha is the pioneering state in starting the Odisha Millet Mission. The rationale, objectives, and major achievements of the program. So this is a question specific to Odisha. Nehru termed heavy industries and plants as temples of Mother India. Do you agree? So this again is a economic question. ये जो changes in industrial policy ता उपरे ଆଉ ଏଠି industrialization Odisha issues and prospects. Okay, ତା उपरे. Okay. Coming to GS4, GS4 exact syllabus, किछि सेथरे difference नाही. GS4 is a totally abstract subject. एथरे India ପାଇଁ ଅଲଗା, Odisha ପାଇଁ ଅଲଗା କିଛି ହେଇ ପାରିବନି. So ethics, integrity and aptitude. एथरे how ethically sound you are, what kind of morals you have, what kind of values you have. These are the things that are covered in this subject. यार भी syllabus अच्छी, यार material अच्छी. So even though the topics might look abstract, you do not need to get tensed or terrified because तार preparation है पारिबो. Ethics and human interface. What are dimensions of ethics? Determinants and consequences of ethics. Lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers, and administrators. Swami Vivekananda कौन ethics थिला तांको life रो आमे कौन सिखी परिबा ताको administration रे केमती use करी परिबा गांधी जी कौन ethics थिला नेहरू रो कौन ethics थिला बुद्धा Lincoln. So great leaders, reformers, and administrators. This list goes on. माने there are 20 to 30 leaders, important leaders जहाँ को कि आपन को prepare करियार अछि. Half page रो notes. ताको मन रख देले every answer रे ताको खाली mention करियार अछि, use करियार अछि. What is attitude? What is social influence and persuasion? What is aptitude? And what are the foundational values for civil service? Integrity, impartiality, dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance. How is empathy different from compassion? How is compassion different from sympathy? So these are some concepts which you will cover, and they will bus ask you to write 150 words on them. Other subjects जहाँ में ऊपरे देखिले GS2, GS3, they are 250 words answer, but ethics you will be writing 150 word answers. So बेसी लिखियार नहीं, but concrete किछटा जिनसे लिखियार अछि. What is emotional intelligence? Why is it important? If you are an administrator, if you are an IS officer, if you are an IPS officer, you cannot get very emotionally vested into what you are trying to the job you are doing. If you get emotionally vested, you might take rash decisions. So you need to be emotionally intelligent. moral thinkers, philosophers from India and the world. World रे आपण Plato, Aristotle ୟାଙ୍କର କିଛିଟା philosophies ବିଷୟରେ ପଢିବେ. ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ବି who was Thiruvallur, who was Sant Kabir, and even Mahatma Gandhi for that matter is termed as a philosopher. So Gandhi got philosophy. What were their contributions? This is about the more technical aspects of administration. What are the laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as sources of ethical guidance? Okay. So sources of ethical guidance ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ट्रैफिक पोस्ट छिड़ा ହେଇଛି ट्रैफिक लाइट सामने छिड़ा ହେଇଛି रेड ଅଛି लाइट ଟା रेड ଅଛି तो ମୁଁ ସେଠି फाइन देबी बोली डरिकी मु रेड को क्रॉस करिबिनी या मो माइंड कହୁची दिस इज द राइट थिंग टू डू हेंस मु रेड को क्रॉस करिकी ये करिकी पळेबिनी ट्रैफिक रूल भांगिकी पळेबिनी व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ लॉज एंड कॉन्साइंस इन एथिकल गाइडेंस मोर कॉन्साइंस रो वर्ड टा आसिला या मु लॉ को डरिकी ए जिंसटा कली so these are the very minute things which you will be able to explore in your own self while you are reading this subject while you are reading about these topics. What is probity in governments? What is corporate governance? ये सब Reliance, Adani, Ambani, आंका सब जो companies अच्छी, they cannot run on their own, right? तांको भी govern करियारो केतेटा structure अच्छी. They bring millions of dollars into the country, but if allowed to themselves, they will always look for their own profits rather than giving back to society. So how do you govern them? Is what corporate governance is all about. What is concept of public service? ମୋ job, ମୁଁ as an IS officer, ମୋ job ଗୋଟେ ଚାକିରି ଭଳିଆ ନଉଛି ନା ଗୋଟେ ସେବା କରିବା ଇଣ୍ଟେନସନ ରେ ନଉଛି ଖାଲି ଗୋଟେ 9 to 5 ଯାଇକି କରିକି ଆସିବାର ଅଛି ନଉଛି ନା ମୁଁ ରାତାରାତି ମୋ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟ କୁ ଯାଇକି ଭିଜିଟ କରୁଛି ଲୋକଙ୍କର କଣ ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଲା କଣ ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରିସିଟି ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ଲାଇନ ଅଛି ନା ପାଣି ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ତ ଏଇ ସବୁ ମୋ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ରେ ଅଛି so that is concept of public service. What is work culture? What is quality of service delivery? मो ऑफिस रे जदी घुसखोरी चलची जदी बहुत ऊपरी इनकम होची और मु गोटे नुआ ऑफिसर एज अ नुआ ऑफिसर जदी सेठी गली तो डू आई लेट दिस वर्क कल्चर कंटिन्यू और डू आई चेंज दिस वर्क कल्चर तो दिस इज वर्क कल्चर. व्हाट आर कोड्स ऑफ कंडक्ट? यूनिफॉर्म कोन हबा कथा टाइम रे आसीबो तमे district visit ku jibo field visit ku jibo so these will be the codes of conduct. These are very rudimentary examples. You will study these in much more depth. Okay. And then case studies on above issues. This is a very interesting part of the topic. 100 marks for case studies ase. Case studies you will be given a comprehension type passage. You are the IS officer. Tama district re flood hela. These are the category of people. Ministers, women, children, aged people, prisoners. तमे आगे कहा को बंचेबो आउ काई की बंचेबो लेख. So you'll have to think. First मु कहा को बंचेया कथा. First मु लास्ट रे कहा को बंचेया कथा. मु आगे मिनिस्टर्स पाखु जीबी बिकॉज़ तांको पाखे पावर अछि और जदी तांको बंचे देली से आहुरी दुनिया जिंस जोगाड़ कर देबे. ना मु आगे women and children पाखु जीबी because they are weak. ना मु आगे old age people पाखु जीबी because तांको सहारा रो हेल्प तांको हेल्प रो आवश्यकता अछि. So and then तार justify करियार अछि. So these kind of case studies. You are a IS officer जार की छुआ एबे गोटे मर्डर केस रे धरा पड़ची. What are you going to do? ताको अरेस्ट करिवो ना ताको कवर करिया चेष्टा करिवो. Obviously तमे सेठी पूरा एथिकली ये देखियार अछि because real world रे या भितर टिके डिफरेंस तो अछि ही real world रे जहा हमें सुनुछु it's not how this ethics paper was designed to be but here you have to give all the right kind of justification and obviously you have to aspire to be the right kind of IS officer when you become an IS officer or an IPS officer or an IRS officer. Some question types. Okay. What is meant by environmental ethics? Something as simple as light to switch off कर दबा या AC बंद कर दबा before we leave. Because AC जदि चालची ता माने कोट ना कोटी गोटे power plant रे coal is being used, the environment is getting polluted. So something as simple as switching off the light is a part of environment ethics. Something as simple as traffic again say traffic रे जदि red light अछि जदि 120 seconds अछि गाड़ी बंद कर दवा is an example of environmental ethics. Otherwise the petrol is getting exhausted and the environment is getting polluted. Human beings should always be treated as ends in themselves and never merely as means. Explain the meaning and significance of this statement. Should we use people for our benefits or should we respect each person on their own merit? Is the theme of the question. The good of an individual is contained in the good of all. What do you understand by this statement? So you can see these are very abstract questions. जहां मनुभाषी वो लिखे आरचे. But if it is structured, if it contains references to, say, this moral thinkers, philosophers, references to great leaders, kichita words like emotional intelligence, kichita words like conscience, kichita words like rules, regulations, you'll be able to write a decent answer. How to get advanced preparation pai, of course, you have to search for good examples. Ki 150 words bhitere mo ek question ର answer kete bhalse likh paribi. So you'll have to research थोड़ा सा. କାହାର example ଦେଲେ better ହୁଅନ୍ତା, କଣ କେମିତି structure କଲେ better ହୁଅନ୍ତା. Explain how ethics contributes to social and human well-being. These are all, again, crisis of ethical values in modern times is traced to narrow perception of good life. Discuss. So these are high order thinking skills that are required, but it can be done, be rest assured. Okay, GS4, GS3, GS2 देखला ପରେ GS1 last ରେ ଦେଖିବା and reason I said that is because ଟିକେ difference ଅଛି ଏଥିରେ syllabus ରେ. So ଏଠି culture ର only one topic, salient aspects of art, forms, literature, architecture and modern times. But ଏଠି culture ରେ ସେଇଟା ତ ଅଛି ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ temple architecture of Odisha, social cultural development in Odisha, bhakti movement in Odisha, regional tradition of Odisha festivals, Odia language, literature and development of Odia literature. Okay. So ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଟିକେ ଆଉ extra culture ବିଷୟରେ ଆମକୁ ଏଠି extra ପଢିବାର ଅଛି. ଏଠି freedom struggle and modern Indian history. But ଏଠି ତା ସହିତ you have Kalinga war and its significance, dynastic history of Odisha, these dynasties, the Bhaumakaras, Kharavela, Somavamsis, Gangas, Gajapatis, how the Odisha province was created, how it was carved out of Bengal. Okay. Early resistance, the Paika rebellion, Surendra Sai revolt of 1857, and Praja Mandal movements. So these are history. GS1 Ray is where you have to read many extra things apart from what you read for UPSC in history. In the 80 geography part, it's general geography and world geography. But 80 you have Odisha's natural resources, Odisha's physiography and riverine system, etc. Okay, along with India's and world's geography. So, achi 80 ଟିକେ different achi. Indian society. Indian society रे it is salient features of Indian society, diversity of India, effects of globalization, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism. But it globalization on Indian society achi effects. It as a whole and Odisha bhi achi. Distribution of growth, tribes and tribal population in Odisha. Growth of urban population and urban centers in Odisha. Okay. So this is what I wanted to tell you about the syllabus. Some questions. In what ways ଏଇଟା ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ typical ଏଇଟା UPSC ରେ ବି ପଚରା ଯାଇ ପାରିବ ଏଇଟା OPSC ରେ ବି ପଚରା ଯାଇ ପାରିବ. Diverse and multicultural society. How is India a diverse and multicultural society? I'm a food, I'm a dress, I'm a festival, I'm a tribes, everything. I'm a language. These are the things that add the diversity and the multicultural aspect, add to the multicultural aspect of the society. Why is it? Why was it considered so, and how did it differ from other societies of Asia and Europe? This is a very general question that can be asked in both the exams. But ଏଠି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିର ଗୋଟେ question ପଚାରିଲା. Odisha famine of 1866 ର reason କଣ? This is a question that is can only be asked in OPSC. UPSC ରେ some again pan India basis ରେ ଗୋଟେ larger issue ଉପରେ ପଚାରିବ. Slum inclusive development. Will this lead to sustainable urban development? Significance of Bhitarkanika National Park. This is OPSC. This can be asked in both UPSC and OPSC. Like this requires integrated preparation. This requires extra preparation. Mahatma Gandhi brought in public life in India. Major changes. So you will read this for both the exams, right? So I hope you get a overall idea of what the whole syllabus is. I've tried to cover with the whole syllabus and the question types also. ମୁଁ ଆହୁରି ଡିଟେଲରେ ଯାଇପାରିବି ବଟ୍ ଖାଲି ଖାଲିଟାରେ ଭିଡିଓ 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା 3 ଘଣ୍ଟା କୁ ପଳେଇବ ତାର କିଛି ମାନେ ନାହିଁ। as you read the subjects ଆପଣ ନିଜେ question papers ଦେଖିବେ, ଗୋଟେ broad mindset create କରିବେ କି these are the topics I have to cover and that is how you have to proceed eventually. Okay, so thank you very much for being this patient. ଆମ ପୂର୍ବ ଭିଡିଓସ୍ କୁ ଯାହା ବି ଆପଣ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତା ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ହିସାବରେ पूरा चेष्टा चलेचु कि आपनको क्वालिटी कंटेंट आनिकी दबु। आपनको लाइक्स शेयर्स एंड सपोर्ट एमती जारी रहबो मु आशा करूची। এই ভিডিও को भी लाइक करिवे, हम चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिवे, हम टेलीग्राम चैनल को आपण जॉइन करंतु, लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स रे अछि। ସେଥିରେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ आंसर राइटिंग इनिशिएटिव भी चलेचु। आंसर राइटिंग इनिशिएटिव रो वीडियोस भी पकोछु, ताको भी देखंतु, ताको भी लाइक करंतु। मोर पूर्व वीडियोस रे मु सिविल सर्विसेज को नहीं कि सब डिटेल रे क्वालिटीज हैबिट्स कौन सब स्टडी प्लान हे परिबो, कौन स्ट्रेटजी हे परिबो ता विषय टिके चर्चा करछि। से वीडियोस जे देखि नांती एबे जाय देख परिबे। एंड आपन पेशेंस पे वेरी वेरी थैंक यू। अगेन मु कहूची प्लीज लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब। थैंक यू।